Executives talk business in Guangzhou. They also interpreted the message in President Xi Jinping's congratulatory letter.
We welcome the contents of President Xi Jinping's letter of congratulations, and we are optimistic about the potential in the Chinese economy, as was emphasized in the letter.
The letter covers two major issues. First, China's commitment in promoting innovation.
Well, I think, of course, since I focus mostly on entrepreneurship and innovation, I think that that's the most exciting part. So I think China's policy, Xi Jinping's leadership in making China a more open, inclusive place, really bodes very, very well for the future of innovation and entrepreneurship in China.
About half of the first day's forum sessions featured speeches from tech leaders like Alibaba founder Jack Ma and Tencent founder Pony Ma, a testament of how far China has traveled in the global technology race.
The other major topic, President Xi wrote that China's gate of openness will only expand wider instead of the opposite.
Participants say it is an important pledge when globalization is at a crossroad. The opportunities brought by China's deeper inclusion into the world economy are too good to let go.
China is expected to lead the world in smart manufacturing and industrial Internet of Things. It will continue to serve the world by being a manufacturing hub of high-quality products.
China's efforts are shown in various outward-oriented initiatives by the government. For example, the free trade zones, as well as the Belt and Road initiatives. Many companies are eyeing the business opportunities that they generate.
Opportunity is significant. The Belt and Road Initiative sees many Chinese companies venturing abroad and investing along the Belt and Road in countries where international SOS has been operating for over 30 years.
Many participants said the message in the letter is very relevant to their respective industries. For Fortune 500 companies that have global presence, the last thing they want is to be caught in any sort of trade war. Chenxi, CGTN, Guangzhou.
Well, let's go live now to Guangzhou, where CGTN's Yang Chenxi is standing by with more on this story. Yang, just talk us through some of the highlights of today's sessions, specifically the idea of the sharing economy and how that might have dominated discussions.
Yes, the sharing economy has been the highlight of the day. The business model, I think it is safe to say, is transforming the lives of billions of people worldwide, and it is especially popular in China. One Chinese investor in tech whom I have interviewed yesterday told me that China has a very open-minded environment for new internet business models like this to flourish. And that's why the country has become one of the biggest markets for the sharing economy model. Today's session was attended by heads of Xiaozhu, an Airbnb-like short rental service app, the co-founder of real estate developer Soho China, founder of Mobike, the extremely popular bike rental company in China, and the founder of Ele.me, a popular food delivery app. Now, at one point, discussions got quite heated and it became like a public debate. Pan Shiyi of Soho China argued that we should not let Mobikes and food delivery workers into commercial office areas. On the other hand, the founders of the two companies said this ban, if it realizes, unnecessarily makes people's lives more inconvenient. This has been a popular debate for quite some time among citizens. While people like to be able to ride bikes and have food delivered wherever they like, many randomly placed rental bikes on street corners and also rushing food delivery men on roads have caused complaints from many citizens and caused headaches for city administrators.
And indeed, you've mentioned some big businesses that were represented today, but we also know there was a presentation by the world's largest company on the Fortune 500 list, Walmart. What is the future of retail, especially given how online business is affecting the sector as we know it?
Well, Walmart attracts a lot of attention since it is the biggest Fortune 500 company, having close to 12 7,000 stores in 28 countries. Of course, it is faced with challenges from e-commerce. Alibaba's founder Jack Ma talks about how new types of internet firms have challenged and subverted old internet firms like Netscape. So will they do the same thing to Walmart? The chairman of the company, Greg Penner, said of course he worries about that all the time. Now, just in this year, there are reports that 7,000 physical stores in the US is going to close, he said, while at the same time, mobile commerce grew 80% in the past couple of years. The company has been acquiring many e-commerce sites, both in the US and in China, and its online sales grew 50% last quarter. He believes the future is not going to be either physical stores or e-commerce sites. Consumers are not going to care about how they order or how they get the goods. It's all about the smooth shopping experience, either online or offline.
Well, indeed, very interesting discussions taking place there at the Fortune Global Forum. Thank you very much, Yang Chenxi, joining us there from Guangzhou, China. Well, now let's return to Egypt and the Africa 2017 Business Forum at the Red Sea resort city of Sharm el-Sheikh. As we mentioned, African heads of states as well as entrepreneurs and experts from the continent are meeting to showcase business opportunities and economic development across Africa. Let's get you more now on that forum. CGTN's Uche Okoronkwo joins us live from Sharm el-Sheikh. Uche, just give us an idea of what's happening at the conference today. Any updates?
Lindy, thank you. And as you heard from Yasser earlier, the key focus of this conference, regional integration and job creation. Some of the hot topics we're going to see being discussed is improving intra-Africa investments and certainly cross-border collaboration on the continent. Now, back in 2015, we saw Egypt host that signing of a tripartite agreement between the three regional blocs on the continent. That's SADC, the EAC, and of course, ECOWAS. Now, this time around, they're doing it a little different. They're including the business leaders on the continent. We're seeing them, giving them the opportunity to participate in policy talks. Now, of course, youth are going to play a prominent role in the future of Africa. And today we saw them focusing on certainly youth entrepreneurship on the continent. Entrepreneurship, of course, is going to be one of the key topics at this year's conference. And let's talk a little bit more about that. We're joined now by the CEO and co-founder of VC4 Africa, Ben White. He's joining me right here on the set. And let's talk about what's happening with entrepreneurship in Africa. Why is it still so hard for local businessmen to access funding?
Look, I mean, I think the ecosystem is still nascent. Entrepreneurs and investors are still trying to figure out where the opportunities are, how to develop them into successful investment opportunities. But there's a lot of progress being made as well that I don't think people necessarily see or always recognize. Not only are the number of entrepreneurs and companies that they're building increasing over time, but we're also seeing the quality really improve. Really sophisticated founder teams coming together with very promising products, services, and solutions, bringing those into market where you're seeing more traction, you're seeing more commercialization, and the response to that is that the investment community starts to really understand, hey, there's something happening here, these markets are on the move, we need to be putting our money into these businesses if we want to be part of the future of the African success story. So it's happening, and certainly there's progress and a lot still to be done.
Well, let's talk about the extent to which that's happening. What is your take on the myth that there is no funding out there, especially for small and medium enterprises on the continent? Is this true?
Well, it takes time, right? It's as simple as that. I think it was about 2011, we had 4 or 5 hubs, innovation hubs on the continent. Now the World Bank estimates there's more than 200. 3 years ago, we couldn't talk about angel investing in this ecosystem. Now we have more than 60 angel investing networks that are coming up in different cities across the continent. Last year, we saw 104 transactions in 26 African markets. The opportunity is much bigger. There's much more potential to be investing into the ecosystem, but that's also why we're here at a conference like this, to showcase what kind of progress has already been made and really to extend an invitation to African leaders, but also to other players in other parts of the world to say, look, the opportunity is now, let's get busy and let's see where we can take this moving forward.
Well, many thanks for your insights there. Of course, that was Ben White, CEO of VC for Africa. And just before we leave, as he said, the focus of this conference, of course, entrepreneurship moving forward, and certainly the big role the youth are going to play in that. We're going to see President Sisi come today with Paul Kagame, President of Rwanda, and discuss this further. Back to you in the studio, Lindy.
Well, thank you very much. Uche Okoronko live for us there in Sharm el-Sheikh.